everything that's not a standard show is a bonus. Just note that only our standard shows have countdown trivia. Now, I'm going to go into our banner section here, and I'm going to hope that we did not, and we didn't. So we still have it here. You can enter our countdown trivia. Hey, yeah, we're live. Oh, by the way, we're live. Countdown trivia is a way that you can get some Ref the District swag. Yeah, that's right. You get some gear just by answering the countdown trivia. Hey, maybe you don't know the answer. That's fine. There's other ways you can enter. All you have to do is share this video on Twitter or Facebook, tag Ref the District, and use the hashtag countdown trivia. You do that, and you can get 2 entries. If you answer it correctly and share it, boom. There you go, 2 entries. I tell you what, I'll be extra generous, and plus because I'm not that smart when it comes to counting things. If you share it on Twitter and then you share it on Facebook, as long as you're tagging and you're using that hashtag, we'll count both of those. You can enter 3 times and get yourself some good stuff. All right?
It's frozen.
Yeah, it's not counting anymore.
Why aren't you counting down? We can hear the music.
Yeah, but it's not counting.
Stoner, what did you do to the video?
Here we go. Wow.
Just rewind it back. Rewind it back.
Stoner did today's video, so if you have an issue with the timer, we'll go ahead and blame him. But let's go ahead and hit that question, Trev.
When Dan Snyder led a group that purchased the Washington Redskins in 1999, how much did they pay? Once again, when Dan Snyder led a group that purchased the Washington Redskins back in 1999, how much did it cost? How much chicken did they put up? How much bread they got?
You know, a lot of people wish that he would sell the team, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're going to go ahead and get this ball rolling. We got a great show for you guys. Here we are, Ref the District.
I'm a pretty bad kid.
Yeah, let's talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about how we be ballin', playing with the Wizards. Let's talk about the Nets and how they always got good pictures. Let's talk about the Cats who rescue, turn them boys to winners. Injuries and updates, oh yeah. To the opponent, we stand toe to toe, yeah. To the top, this podcast gonna go, yeah. I think it's something you should know, yeah.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode 39. Pack it in. I don't know if we're ready to pack it in. I know we're not ready to pack it in right now here on Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. With me, it is the Lord of Lexington, Trevor himself.
Good evening. I am the Lord of Lexington. What up, guys? We got Packers in the house. So
we do. And the Duke of Dundalk, Stoner.
Hello. How is everybody? That's the best. That's all I got for an English accent.
I like that. I like that.
Best I can do.
Having a little fun here on Ref the District, where we stream live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can catch us also on your favorite audio platforms as well afterwards. Now, if you are just catching us and on the audio platforms, you might have missed the countdown trivia. Go back and answer that trivia question. Enter yourself to win a Ref the District swag bag. So if you're listening to audio platforms, there's multiple ways to enter. Make sure you go ahead and take care of that. We'd love to send you out some of our gear. We've got a great show planned for you today. As with the warm-up, we'll be talking about the Caps win streak, or not win streak, but doing pretty strong this first week. And then the Wizards tip off here at 7:30. And the game, we'll be talking about the Washington football team, and then we'll cool down with Titletown Lounge.
Hey!
Brandon will be joining us to give us that intel on the Green Bay Packers, see what they have to bring to it. By the way, you might notice that we all felt it was appropriate. We hear hoodie attire is
buddy.
Is what's appropriate to wear
for special events and special occasions.
Special events and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we're all rocking hoodies today. So put
there
that
you
up.
Go.
And,
there we go.
There we go.
What's up?
Totally just the fine thing to be wearing. All right,
Nathan looks like from Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. What are they called?
Or something.
Yeah.
Or he's a Wookiee. I don't know what they're called.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of wearing a hoodie right now. I love the joke, but as you might have seen on my own personal Twitter,
Yeah.
It's starting to get hot in here because I lost the battle.
Ooh,
of thermostat.
it's getting hot in here, so take that hoodie off. Stoner. Oh my God.
Nelly.
There we go.
There we
Hey,
go.
2 for
Okay.
2 this
Fire.
week.
Okay.
There you
I'm on
go.
fire. I am on fire. Oh my God.
He's
I'm
on fire.
It took me a second, but yeah.
Let's go ahead and start. You can see it on your screen. Let's start off with the Caps as they've got 5 of 6 points this opening week of play. Started off strong against the Rangers. Had another great game just this last week. Although I would say that it looked a lot better, in the first 2 periods. That third period, I think they kind of let up a few goals there they shouldn't have. Stoner, what's been the most surprising part of these first 3 games?
Very simply, the most surprising part has been Kuznetsov. He is the absolute linchpin to this season, to this team, right? When they won the cup a few years back, he was arguably the MVP of the playoffs, although OV won, and deservedly so. He was right there. Then the last couple of years, he's been basically non-existent. Now this year, he's already got a couple of goals, a couple of assists. They're winning games. They've gotten good goaltending. The scoring has been all around. And, of course, just like every other year, Ovi is scoring at will, basically. He's got 4 goals already in 3 games. He's got 734 in his career. He's 5th all time. He's just
moved up to 5th all time in that first game. First game didn't waste any time. Moved up to 5th all time just with the first 2 that he got in that first game. Hey, Caps looking pretty good. When's your next game?
They play tomorrow night, Thursday, their first road game of the season. The first 3 games have been at home. It's great. You love to be able to start off at home. And like you said, 5 out of 6 points. But they've got their first road game Thursday, I believe. I haven't seen the schedule in a while, but I think it's New Jersey. So they're just kind of heading up a little bit north and face the Devils.
Game?
What's that?
Should we win that game?
Oh, yeah. The Devils last year were horrific.
Horrible.
I think because of the weird schedule that they had last year, and they basically played the same 4 teams.
Round robin-ish 5 teams, play.
16, whatever it was. I mean, against the Devils, I think they had out of a possible 16 points, they got like 15 or something. I mean, they owned them last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but every team improves. I have no idea what they're going to be this year, the Devils, but yes, they should win.
Is there a term for hockey? How they say any given Sunday for football? Is there a term for hockey like that?
No, I don't think there is. We can give them one. What would you say?
Any given puck. Any given puck.
Any given ice
puck
series game. There you go.
A puck and a stick, like a chip and a chair for poker. Not sure. What would that be for our Washington Wizards, which will be our next topic because they tip off here at 7:30. What's that same saying for that? Because Wizards projected to only have about 33, 35 wins according to most sports bet books. But hey, as long as they have a basketball and a hoop, they got a chance.
As long as you got a basketball and a hoop,
you got a chance.
For the Wizards,
and good
as long as you got Bradley Beal, you got a shot. Right?
Yeah. Which I think they do have a nice shot.
We talked a lot. Obviously, yesterday we had our Wizards preview show. We talked for an hour about the Wizards, but we didn't really talk about the transformation of Bradley Beal. When he came in, he was a spot-up shooter, and he was a really good spot-up shooter.
Yep.
And then when John Wall kept getting hurt, he had to develop his game, and he's developed basically what do they call him, a 3-level scorer. He can take you down, he can back you down and get you underneath. He can hit the mid-range, and he can hit the 3, and he's a walking bucket.
Yeah, he can take you off the dribble now. Yeah, you're exactly right, Stoner. Yeah, when you said when he came in, he was coming off the screens, firing up threes.
All he did.
That's all he did. Now, like John Wall, he's had to take on a bigger role. He's embraced it, and it sounds like looks like he's still progressing in that role, not just having to do it for the time being and revert back to just being a spot-up shooter. He's just taking over the game. So go Bradley Beal.
I'm really interested in seeing what he does this year. Not having a caliber player like Westbrook, but having a really deep team, and
good
that's something Wes Unseld.
Yeah,
Wes Unseld Jr. came out today and he said they're going to have a 9 to 10 member rotation for the first few weeks here. That's how he feels about this team starting out, which that's a pretty deep rotation. I mean,
Yeah,
it is. It is, but it's a little less deep than I would have expected.
Yeah, same with all that
I
talent
thought-
they got.
Yeah. Now I think they have 13 guys who we talked about this yesterday. 13 guys who deserve NBA minutes.
Yeah.
But 2 of those guys are Thomas Bryant, who's probably not going to be ready until December, and then Rui, of course, who's working his way back into shape and all that. So that's 11 guys, and if he says 9 to 10, who does that leave out? And I'm thinking
Thomas
it's
Bryant.
probably Thomas
Bryant's already sitting
out.
because
Okay, yeah.
Rui's sitting, so you got
So now
Thomas Bertans.
it's not going to be Bertans.
Davis
I
will
wish.
get to play.
It's probably going to be one of the 2 backup point guards. So it's either going to be Neto or Holiday.
Yeah.
And then the other one's probably going to be Kispert. Kispert's probably not going to get minutes.
Really? You think that
I
Kispert
think
is
he'll
going to be
get.
the
I
one
think
they're
he'll
gonna
get
Who
some
else?
minutes, dog.
Who else? If you're only going 9 deep,
Okay.
then who is?
Here we go.
Who's,
Bradley Beal,
yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie, Trez
Mhm.
Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Daniel Gafford. That's 5. Then
Okay.
you got
KCP.
KCP,
Yep.
Corey Kispert.
Well, don't say Kispert. You got Avdia.
Okay. KCP, Advia, yeah. Davis Bertans. That's 8.
Yep.
Is
And then you
Net-
got
is
one of the
Neto?
backup point guards, either Neto or
Neto?
Holiday.
I'll go Drew Holiday with that.
Or well, you wish it was Drew Holiday, but unfortunately,
yeah.
it's Aaron Holiday.
Yeah, it's Aaron
It's not
Holiday.
He's not quite as good.
All the
as
holidays
Drew.
are the same, aren't they? You
Yeah,
celebrate them, you keep it moving, whatever. No.
Yeah.
So
So,
then
there's your
that's
9.
nine.
So there's your 9.
And then if you're going 10, then you would do another. Yeah,
Either
that's
So he's saying
Corey
only 9
Kispert.
to 10.
Corey Kispert's number 10. We got to bring Corey in.
And then so
I
Neto's not
feel
playing. I don't know. I'm just
I don't know.
saying.
You got Denny. This is what's listed as the roster on ESPN. You got Denny. You got Joel Ayahi or Ayahi.
Oh yeah, they just signed him. Yeah,
he's not getting minutes.
Nah.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, which we know is
Or Davis.
KCP's on there. Spencer Dinwiddie, Gafford, Anthony Gill.
No.
Oh,
no,
I
he
forgot
won't-
about
He won't get
Tony
any
Gill.
minutes. No.
He's not going to get any minutes.
No.
Rui, which went Trez, Aaron Holiday, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, Neto, Isaiah Todd, and
Nope, he's not
Cassius
getting
Winston.
Yeah, he's not.
Cash
getting
is
any.
not.
Those are
Yeah,
two-way
so
players. Those
we
guys.
pushed nail on the head right there.
Yeah, so
Corey
we'll see. It'll be
Kispert.
interesting. You know, they're gonna, as Kuzma said in his press conference, we're gonna have to. It's gonna take some time for them to gel and figure out what the rotation is and who does what well, game after game after game. And then, like Chase Hughes said, injuries are gonna play a part.
For
You're gonna have an attrition of guys who are gonna go down, and just naturally,
I'm glad how you
the
threw
other
that on
guys are
Chase
gonna get the
Hughes.
minutes.
I'm glad you threw the injury thing on Chase Hughes, not yourself.
Yeah, he's
Smart
the one that
move.
said it, not me, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
And it all starts tonight at 7:30
I'm excited.
up there in Canada, up there in
Yeah.
Toronto, Canada.
So in about 20 minutes, they're gonna toss the ball in the air. What do they say? I always say drop the
jump
puck
ball.
in hockey. What do they say? Oh, you can
It's a
just
jump ball. It's just
yeah,
Tip
just
off.
gonna have a jump ball.
It's
Tip off. There you go. We have tip
Oh my
off.
Tip off, guys. Come on.
Let's go to football.
Sorry.
Let's go to
I
football.
might not pronounce names correctly, but I at least know it's a tip off.
What's Bertans' first name?
Davis.
It's Davis.
No, you're supposed to let.
I know it's
Nathan
Davis.
answer.
We had a whole podcast.
Well, you said
yesterday about
Davis.
Davis.
You said
I-
Davis.
I don't
Bertans.
care for the guy. I can
Yeah, me
mispronounce
neither.
his name every now and then. All
Yup.
right.
I like.
Let's go to football. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're going
can't
to
wait
come
to
back
talk
here
about
for
that.
the game. And when we come back,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Washington football team traveling to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. All right, the game is sponsored by Pacers Running. Tell us what you can get from Pacers Running there, Stoner.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for just dropping.
I'm sorry.
The hammer
Do you
on
not
me right
pronounce
there.
that correctly?
What?
That's what you get. That's what you get.
Oh, okay. So Pacers Running. They have 6 stores in the Northern Virginia and DC areas, and they will set you up with a virtual fitting. And they have all kinds of great running shoes. They have gear. They have socks. They have compression socks and stuff, and all kinds of active wear. You're gonna love them. We had Chris Farley, the owner, on for Day After Reckoning, and he was awesome. And we've gotten a lot of feedback on some of our posts for Pacers, so that's going very well. Pacers running is awesome, by the way.
I still
love Pacers running for every run. Those compression socks, wife loves them. Jazzy loves her compression socks.
Hers already?
Yeah, she got her compression socks and she wore them, and she well, that's just not nice. But she said that they are really, not only were they really comfortable, but they really helped out with that plantar fasciitis. So definitely check out Pacers running, whether or not that's in one of those 6 stores in Northern Virginia or DC or online. They've got what you need to get you up and moving. Pacers running for every run.
Hey, Dad, I haven't done my fitting yet still, so.
I was gonna remind you today, and then I was just like, you know what?
You guys
I'm more reminding Stoner than for not getting your fitting taken care of.
By the way, just a quick update so that everybody out there knows, our guest will be arriving at about 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
Awesome. So that'll be Brandon from Titletown Lounge. We will look forward to him joining us here in just a little bit. Looks like we'll have him in about 15-ish minutes. But let's go ahead and talk about this Green Bay Packers game that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First off, let's get this out of the way. Does Washington have a chance?
Yeah. You know why?
Okay, go
Chip
ahead.
It a chair.
Tell us why.
Any given Sunday?
Any given Sunday. We don't have Dustin Hopkins anymore. He has been released today.
That'll make the difference.
Game comes down to kicking at points. You never know. This could be one of those games. You never know. Mm-hmm. You just never know. And so now we have Chris Blewett to take over the keys of the kicking car.
Great kicking name, by the way. Great kicking name.
Of course he's with us. Of course he's with Washington. No, but I don't know, man. Probably not, but I'm an optimist, so I do think we could win this game. We just got to be more disciplined, more sound. Communication's got to be there. We got to keep Aaron in the. Go ahead, Stoner. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think we do, but I do think we have a better chance than we did earlier, and it's not because of Dustin Hopkins specifically, but I think it's because there's something brewing, or there's something going on in the locker room. It's not business as usual. It's not whatever Ron Rivera is doing. He's doing something different.
Yeah,
right.
A different
so
approach.
Whether he's sending a message, if you want to believe that, of cutting the kicker, or he's telling Landon Collins, I don't care what you call it, you're basically playing linebacker.
Here,
that's what you're gonna be doing. There's like a change of culture in the locker room or within the team this week. It's not business as usual. That's what I get out of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's enough to get over an obvious talent difference in the most important position of quarterback. So I think before I thought maybe they had a 5% chance to win. Now I'd say they probably have like a 20% chance to win.
There you go.
But still, I think they have an 80% chance of losing.
How big would that be for the team? If you mentioned kind of he's changing things up. He had that sit down conversation with Landon Collins, said, dude, you're a downhill linebacker. Collins was like, the first time said, I'm a safety. I want to be a safety. And Ron Rivera came back the next week, said, dude, you're a downhill linebacker. And Collins, Ron Rivera said Collins was very professional about it. So we'll see. Hopefully that takes. If all these changes, changing the kicker, doing things differently, making these personnel changes, maybe changing something up on defense, or whatever the case might be, if they come out and they beat the Green Bay Packers after these changes, what does that really do for the team?
It gives them confidence that they can beat an NFL team of quality and not these bum teams that we're supposed to win and we lose. But it gives the team confidence.
It could absolutely turn the entire season around.
It literally could, bro.
It could if you beat a team like that.
Yeah, because after them, the most talented team is Tampa Bay that we face.
Right.
So I'm not saying that we'll go on this win streak, but at least, confidence, man. That does
Tampa
a lot
Bay-
for somebody.
Which, by the way, I think that Tampa Bay game, I think there's still enough holdover players that there might be hungry for a little bit of, saying, hey, we almost got you guys in the playoffs. I think there might be some players who want to try to get that kind of revenge. I don't know how much that actually plays, but I think your guys are right. I think this, if they were able to take down the Packers, I think this is akin. Trevor, you mentioned this a few times already. This is akin to that Steelers game of last season.
Yep.
Where they are able to just kind of turn things around and like, hey, guys, believe in what we're doing here. There's things here that we can build upon. Not that they're a great team, not that they're going to like go great places, but that they have things that they can build upon.
You guys remember that year when we faced Green Bay, I think on Sunday Night Football, and we beat them on Sunday Night Football? We weren't supposed to win that game. And I think later on that year we beat the Raiders, I think, was it the Raiders with Marshawn Lynch was on that team and DJ Swearinger rocked them? Yeah. And it was that year where we weren't that good, but then we surprisingly beat Green Bay, and Raiders were pretty good at that time, and we beat them. So I feel like this is kind of like the same vibe,
same energy, same vibe.
Yeah, same energy to go along with the Steelers of last year.
Well, that's your heart speaking, and I get it, But however, the brain, the math, the analytics, the truth, the facts all say Green Bay is going to smoke Washington. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's on paper. Green Bay should crush Washington.
I do think this game might get uglier than the Kansas City game.
Yeah,
I do think that that's very possible. I think that Mahomes has kind of been a little shaky this year in the way that Rodgers outside of that first game has not been. Mm-hmm. Although Green Bay has also not looked. We got a cat showing. If you don't listen to audio only, you're missing the cat showing. But I just feel like, especially that this is an away game. But then again, Green Bay has been known to lay an egg every now and then.
And their defense isn't really that good.
It's a Joe Barry defense. So, I mean, what do you expect? So this guy's been 0-16. No, you're right. The Washington offense laid an egg this last week. Logan Paulson was out on our friend of the podcast, Jamal's dive, and talked about how they're only doing like 4 schemes, essentially, and he's just running those over and over again. So, yeah. I think you're talking about the most important position, right? QB. I think part of that is because they want Taylor Heineke to play within the offense. And so they're like, we're only going to run 4 concepts. And so you only have to know 4 concepts so you can be this game manager. But then they flip-flopped on that this week where they said, hey, he's thinking too much. He's trying to make the perfect throw. We need you to just kind of go out there and ball. If we get baller Heineke, there's a puncher's chance, right? That's as we keep throwing out these.
Heineke? What is baller Heineke?
Tampa Bay from last year.
Tampa Bay, the Giants game from this year. That this is a guy who
the Chargers
when we
game
play behind. Hey, this is a player who is a good backup who's used to, like, he's a quality backup. I'm not saying he's a starter.
No. But
he is who he is. And right now he's the starting quarterback for Washington. And he has one thing I do like about him is the kid's got moxie. Okay.
That'll produce wins.
It doesn't amount for anything. You're right. It doesn't amount for anything, but at least it's exciting football. It's fun to watch. And as long as he can stay upright, he could really motivate the team, right? I mean, you got Chase Young doing the Heineke. You got the whole team can rally behind that.
Yeah, that's what Moxie
that can end up producing wins when they're doing that. They just don't. They can't do some dumb things like they have this year, like Gibson's fumble against the Chargers.
Gibson's fumble against
all
Chiefs.
Of his fumbles
against the Chiefs. Yeah,
so he's had 2 very costly fumbles.
And Taylor's mentioned that he's going to be playing in Green Bay, and it's very emotional. I grew up a Packers fan. Yeah. I know, and it's no shade because it was like, I guess his late father. That's the last thing they saw together was. But, bruh, we in the NFL. It's time to put them emotions in a box and compartmentalize it and go in there and win this game, because now you're going there with the mindset as I'm playing on Lambeau Field when my dad and I used to watch. I grew up being a Brett Favre fan, so now it's probably in his head, I got to be a little mini Brett Favre because that's who he compares his game to. And he said he's been thinking and trying to be perfect too much these last 2 weeks. So this one he's just going to let it rip. So we might get that baller Heineke you guys are talking about this week. You never know.
He's like the Brett Favre you get from Wish.
Okay? Yeah, exactly. The Brett Favre, the one from Something About Mary. That's who he is. Okay, he's Brett Favre. That's
right.
So like, I'm just tired of these.
Why is his name pronounced Favre when it's spelled Favre?
I don't know.
I've just always wondered that. But
you can let's Google it. But no, seriously, bro. Like, stop bringing all these emotions to the field and just go out there and kick some butt and play football, bro.
Yeah, well, for sure. Sometimes this is kind of what I think happened this week, right? These coaches are very professional and they work their tails off. You know, they work hard. All the coaches do, and they develop these game plans. And they put certain guys because they think this fits their scheme and all this. Mm-hmm. And then at some point you look at yourself and you're like 2-4 and you're just like, F it.
Yeah.
Let's let Heineke be Heineke. Let's put Collins in the box. Let's cut the effing kicker and
let's find Cam Newton.
And,
whoa.
You know what I mean?
We'll talk about that in the cool down, I think.
So at some point,
So
at some point you're just like, you know what? Just F it. Let's just throw all this stuff and let's just let it rip. Let's just go out there and play football. Yep. And that's probably what they're going to, because even Taylor said that. He's out there trying to be too perfect. He's not being Taylor. Yeah. What makes Taylor Heineke, which is nothing great, but still what makes him what he is his legs. Yes. And he absolutely did that 0 times against the Chiefs. He did not use his legs 1 time. And they've talked about they're incorporating RPO into the playbook, but he's not doing, he's handing it off every single time. Yeah. So he's not using his legs. And maybe that's just it's been drilled into his head. Be a game manager. Stay in the pocket. And you remember, Nathan, when and I think all 3 of us were talking about this in that preseason game against Cincinnati when we were at the game, right? Yeah. And all he was doing was running out of the pocket.
Yeah, that's all
and we're all screaming,
run first.
Stop running out of the pocket. Now we're all like, run out of the pocket.
My thing with him was that every play looked like a broken play. And that was his tailor-made kind of way of doing things. Nice. Was just that. Thank you. Pat myself on the back for that. That was just his way of doing things. Was just like he wants to scramble. He wants to be this gunslinger. Yeah. He wants to always kind of have that kind of high energy. And then they spent weeks drilling into his head. And then we talked about this in several of our podcasts. That's why he's making these mistakes, is because he literally is just thinking too much at this point. He is just drilled into his head that he has to stay back there and he has to go through these progressions. Now, sometimes it's amazing when it works out. Like when he made it to his 5th progression and he finds J.D. McKissick, who then absolutely just runs it out into the end zone. That's exciting. But those plays have been few and far between. And now we need some of that kind of that magic, hailing it back to the person he's replacing
for now.
Because I think Fitzpatrick comes back and Taylor Heineke doesn't turn this around, that we're going to see Fitzpatrick behind center again. But I tell you who we're going to be seeing behind center across the field, and that is the only Aaron Rodgers. And to talk to us about the play on that side is going to be Brandon from Titletown Lounge. Give us warm welcome. Ref District, welcome to Brandon. Thank you for joining us.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. Love what you guys are doing. Big fan of yours. We go back a few months ago, so I've been paying attention to you guys, and it's an honor to be here. It truly is.
Hey Brandon, I have a question. Well, my name is Trevor. I'm new. You didn't meet me a few months ago, so I'm the newest member of the team. But why does Brett Favre pronounce his name Favre the way it's spelled? Do you have an answer for that for real?
I don't. To be honest with you, if we're going to be honest, probably because he's from Kiel, Mississippi, and there's nobody that lives there, so they probably just. They probably just made it up, and they were like, "Yeah, that works." Okay.
We
Actually,
should
cool
change.
story. I just met Brett Favre a couple weekends ago.
Oh, no
nice.
kidding.
Yeah.
What was going on there? Was he?
So I was at the Packer Steelers game, and they were having like an autograph, event signing, whatever. And so I attended it, paid the fee or whatever, and met him. He's a really cool dude. Really, still looks like he could play. By the way,
he's in phenomenal shape. He's like a triathlete now, right?
Yeah. He looked pretty. He looked like he was in game shape. So
he's got to fit in those Wrangler jeans.
If you're looking for a quarterback, that might be.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well.
Get rid of the Brett Favre from Wish and get the actual Brett Favre.
Yeah. Well, at least he showed up for the appearance money that they're paying him. I heard he doesn't always do that. He has appearances where he gets money and doesn't show up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it was a ridiculous amount of money to pay for it. Too. It was a lot. Too,
right? Sorry, I wasn't trying to throw a lot of shade on Brett Favre. He's one of the greatest ever. So yeah, give him his props.
Well, one of the other greatest ever to play is Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. How has this season been? Because this season started off with him making an Instagram post of the last dance. And then the season started off with a big old L, but you guys have been winning ever since. What's Green Bay been like? Green Bay Packers, what have they been like this season?
Nathan, that's a good question. Really, it goes back to April. If you guys remember on draft night, Adam Schefter and all the talking heads of the NFL world, they broke the news that Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be in Green Bay. He was unhappy, for X amount of reasons. And then it transitioned to the mini camps and then getting into training camp. The night before he showed up to training camp, we didn't know. Nobody really knew as far as the Green Bay insiders or National Football League insiders knew exactly if Aaron Rodgers was going to show up. He flew in the night before training camp. He obviously reported to training camp, and there was some mixed emotions, to be honest with you. I was on my podcast and I went off on him a few times because for a guy that, he's got a Super Bowl, he complained about not having a lot of people around him as far as talent wise. And I just, or I shouldn't say he said that. That's what people were reporting that he was unhappy about. I just wasn't buying that because he had, multiple guys around him, multiple Pro Bowlers, Hall of Fame type players. One of them's getting inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame next year, and Greg Jennings. He's had good players around him. So there was a lot of mixed emotions. There was a lot of, cut right down the middle. What side are you on, the Packers organization or Aaron Rodgers' side? Now, a lot of Aaron Rodgers' gripes were from the Ted Thompson era, who was the general manager prior to Brian Gutekunst, who just took over in 2018. So a lot of what Aaron Rodgers was upset about had nothing to do with the current GM. So there was a lot of finger pointing, a lot of I want this, I want that. Green Bay's a little bit different, as you guys probably. We don't have a Daniel Snyder. We don't have an owner.
You're so lucky.
Be thankful.
I figured. But so we operate.
Though we do appreciate you got the hoodie memo.
Yeah. We're all in hoodies.
We're all rocking the hoodie.
I just came from football practice, and we actually cut short because it was pouring rain. So I'm a little wet in certain areas. But so a lot of split right down the middle. What side you were on, and then football started, and then it kind of went, okay, screw it, we're here to win. The Instagram posts, albeit very annoying and childish, in my opinion, it was something you had to talk about. You had to, dive into it and figure out exactly what it was. And Devontae Adams answered questions in training camp, and then you had Randall Cobb get acquired, and he jumped into the Instagram game, if you guys remember. He put a picture, I think it was like Tony Kukoc or something. It was some role player from the Bulls. Like it was just so it became an annoyance. And then the real football started, preseason started. We for the last 3 years under Matt LaFleur, the starters don't play preseason. So 99% of the starters, they do not see the field in the preseason. So we really didn't know what this team looked like. We knew that they didn't have much of an offseason together. Obviously, because I don't know if Aaron Rodgers truly wanted to be here. I believe there's some truth to that. So there was no offseason for these guys. And then you go into week one, and I'll be honest with you, Green Bay should have won. That score should have been flipped. If they play right now, that score probably flips. But they didn't have a preseason. They didn't have an offseason together. Training camp, as you guys are aware of, is a cupcake schedule. You're in pads for an hour a day. So there wasn't a whole lot of football played prior to that week 1. And then really, honestly, the worst thing that could have happened was week 1 because you had an off season, of hell as a Packers fan. And then you're like, okay, we got Rodgers back. We're good. And then you lay an egg almost against New Orleans in Jacksonville, which was a home game for the Packers. There was 70-30 Packer fans versus New Orleans fans at that game in Jacksonville. So it started off horribly. It was really bad. It was really shaky. A ton of questions, and then Aaron Rodgers came out his Monday press conference with that sly, some people hate that, they hate it, but
arrogant,
that little arrogant, half word smile saying we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And it turns out things are fine. He's now part owner of Chicago. I'm not sure if anybody has heard about that.
Owner? No, I think he's full. He's full
ownership.
Nathan. In short, it's been a roller coaster. We're enjoying the ride. He did drop some interesting comments after the game in Chicago Sunday. A reporter of The Athletic asked him if he relished that this could be his last game at Soldier Field, and he said he did not think it was going to be his last game at Soldier Field. So there's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of diving into cryptic messages on his Instagram or whatever, Twitter, whatever.
Do you think he enjoys that, Brandon? Do you think he enjoys like toying with the fans and with the media trolling them, keeping them at bay, not knowing? I think he enjoys it.
I don't. That's a great question. I don't know, because when you see him on Pat McAfee's show every Tuesday, if you guys ever listen to him, he'll tell you straight up, like exactly.
He gives it to you straight.
He doesn't, like, there is no filter. So when you watch him on Pat McAfee, he doesn't seem like a guy that likes to, troll and toy around with an organization or a fan base. And prior to this year, he went social media. He had a blackout, with the season. He would deactivate his Instagram. He would deactivate his Twitter, and he wouldn't be involved in social media at all. And obviously this year is a little bit different. Probably as he gets older, he understands that, they're not going to be many more of these years down the road. But I don't think he enjoys it. I think he was having a little fun with it in the off season. Look, Adam Schefter got dragged through the mud, but I believe there was some truth to what he was reporting.
So, Brandon, we noticed that your defensive coordinator had a stint at the same position in Washington football history. When he was here, our defense was probably worse than what it is right now.
Not possible, but go ahead.
But we do know what kind of person like the defense he had here. I saw on Twitter, like, according to the numbers, your defense is pretty good in like points per game allowed and yards, but it's also led by Joe Barry, and your cornerback, your secondary is kind of banged up. So what's the defense for real, like, outside of the numbers?
I'm going to be honest with you, Trev. If I'm a Washington football team fan, you guys I would expect to score some points, just because. So I wrote about this for Dairyland Express. It's a weird defense. So it's right now it's in the top 5 overall, like, total defense, but inside the 20s, they've given up 15 consecutive touchdowns in the last 40 years. Wow. According to Elias Sports, that has never been done. So they're making a history on the bad side. They're on the wrong side of history. But you got to start, and I hate to be this guy, but it's the reality of it. It's injuries. Your best defensive player in Zadarius Smith, all-pro edge rusher, he's been out all year.
Yes.
Your all-pro cornerback of last year, going into this year at high expectations, Jair Alexander, he's out. You lost your second cornerback, multiple injuries. He came back, and then he went back out. He got hurt against Cincinnati and Kevin King. So he's out. Your defensive line rotation is very weak. Outside of Kenny Clark, there really is nobody. So they're good inside the 20s, but when you get into that red zone, it's out. They haven't stopped anybody. So it's a weird defense to get a hold of. Devondre Campbell, who's been an absolute steal for us, according to Pro Football Focus right now, he's the #1 rated inside linebacker in all of football. He's been a surprise. We literally got him off the streets. He was calling teams looking for a chance to work out for him. Green Bay.
He didn't call us. Should have called us. But...
Green Bay got a hold of him. He's been such a surprise. And I think that speaks to Joe Barry. Now, if you go back and you look at Joe Barry's past, what did he do great at? He sucked. As you said, Trev, he was horrible as the defensive coordinator. But what did he excel at? He excelled at linebackers coach when he was in LA. He sent 4 guys to the Pro Bowl at his time in Los Angeles. So he comes to Green Bay, and Green Bay's weakness for 20 years has been the inside linebacker role. And now 6 weeks into the season, they have the number 1 rated inside linebacker. So they're up and down. They're going to give up a ton of yards. What they do best is early in the season is pressure the quarterback, which sounds crazy because 2 of their best pass rushers have been out. Preston Smith, I know you guys are familiar with him. He went out in Chicago with an injury, but I believe he's supposed to play Sunday, or at least he's on track to play Sunday. So that would be a big a boost for a defense. But they've been being able to get to the quarterback. That's been their best part about the defense. The back end, they have a rookie quarterback in Eric Stokes that they drafted in the first round this past year out of Georgia, who's been a really good surprise. I think when he was drafted, it was a lot of raw talent. He ran 4.2, 4.2, I think it was 4.27, 40, has a ton of speed, a ton of talent, but he was very raw. He didn't have a whole lot of experience. He played 1 year in Georgia. So we didn't know what to expect out of him, but he's been the number 1 cornerback because of injuries, and he's been a surprise. So it's just guys stepping up for guys that aren't in, according to, because of injuries. So you guys should be able to move the ball. Green Bay also struggles with defending running quarterbacks. I don't know if you caught any of the Chicago Bears game last week. Justin Fields, he ran for probably about as many yards as he threw. At least it felt like it. So, historically, Green Bay struggles with mobile quarterbacks.
Okay. Well, we are super jealous that, of course, for a lot of reasons, but you've had basically 2 quarterbacks for the last 25 years, almost 30 years.
Yep.
While Washington has had probably 40 during that time, right? And that's not an exaggeration. It's probably somewhere in that 40 in 30 years. But there's a possibility that he's gone at the end of this year.
Question.
Right? So, the question is, I'm not going to ask about Jordan Love because I don't care about Jordan Love.
Well, okay,
but
good. I can ask mine.
My question is, who would be an acceptable trade for you for Aaron Rodgers? Who on Washington would you say, I'll take this guy or that guy or picks or whatever from Washington for Aaron Rodgers? Assuming that he wants to go, the team wants to get rid of him and all that stuff.
I don't know if you have enough. We'll start with that.
Okay. I agree.
If we're looking at a possible trade, I think Washington was he linked to Washington
a little bit.
Well,
as a rumor,
yeah,
maybe.
I thought
Washington was linked to every QB.
Right.
Possibly out there. So
I'll say this: you're probably not getting rid of Chase Young, right? That's
Thank
probably
you.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be
for Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Stoner's giving up everybody.
I'm giving
on
up
the
anybody,
roster.
but go ahead.
But you got to be careful with that though, because
thank you.
You got
Go
to
ahead,
be
Brandon.
careful because this is what we were talking about, prior, on our podcast prior to the season, thinking we weren't sure if we were going to have Aaron Rodgers. You give up a lot. Now, yeah, he's great. He's also 38, and not everybody's Tom Brady. And plays till they're 44, and he's had some serious injuries. He's broken both collarbones. He broke his knee in 2018. Like, he's not, I'm not saying he's fragile, but, he's 38 years old. Is it worth mortgaging your future and possibly one of the best pass rushers in Chase Young? But if you're going to give me guys, I'm starting. My first 2 are going to be Scary Terry and Chase Young and a bunch of first-round draft picks. That's
done.
That's
done. Where do I sign, Brandon?
That's where the conversation.
Are you not in the front office, Stoner?
That's where I think the conversation has started. In those conversations with Denver in the offseason, not that there were conversations, but the rumors, where do you start? Because yes, he doesn't have 7 Super Bowl rings. He doesn't have, 8 Super Bowl appearances or 9, whatever Tom Brady has. But from a talent perspective, I don't know if we've ever seen a guy throw the ball consistently as great as Aaron Rodgers throughout his career. Now, we've seen Mahomes make some good throws, but Mahomes is struggling this year, and Sunday would have been is a perfect example for you guys. You probably should have won that game had you had
Thank you.
a good quarterback. I mean, he hasn't looked the same. So consistently, there's not been a better quarterback as far as Aaron Rodgers goes. So the conversations about, well, what is he worth? That's a question that front office has to answer, because whoever gets Aaron Rodgers, you got about a 2-year window at most, because he will be 38 in December. So in a couple months here. And then you're looking at a guy that's going to want, he has 2 years left on his deal. The second year that's currently on his deal is a void year. So really he has this year plus one more. He's going to want a lot of money. And now you guys know with the salary cap, with the COVID year, it kind of screwed up a lot of stuff. Next year, Aaron Rodgers accounts for 39% of the Packers cap space for one player. So it's hard. It's one of those things where you're kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you take him, make sure you're Super Bowl ready, because if you're not, and he's going to cost you, core pieces to your team, is it really, really worth it? And I know, Stoner, I know you're going to say, yeah, but trust me, you got to be careful.
Thank you.
Well, I'll always compare it to Tampa Bay. They basically just completely said, I'm going to take Tom Brady. Tom, who do you want to come with you? Well, I want Fournette and Antonio Brown and Gronkowski, and I want this guy and that guy and that guy, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. And he did.
But remember,
go ahead.
Remember with Tampa Bay, you're not wrong. Gronkowski was kind of an unknown. He retired. He seemed to be kind of out of shape. Antonio Brown, you can make an argument, probably shouldn't be in the NFL. They also had a really, 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 really good defense, like really good. They did. I mean, they drafted for years and years prior to Tom Brady coming. And you notice something with Tom Brady, wherever he goes, nothing against Tom Brady. I've grown to really respect him this year more than I ever have.
Same.
But wherever he goes, he has a really good defense. And did you see what they did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes couldn't do a thing. I mean, they have speed on the outside. They have speed and power with Vita Vea and what's his name? Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
So they got so much on that defensive side of the ball. You don't have to have Brady do a whole lot. Now, keep in mind, in the NFC Championship game, Tom Brady threw 3 straight interceptions in the second half. The Packers couldn't obviously capitalize. But he's not saying he's not great, but he's not carrying that team.
Yeah. You make great points.
So, Brandon, since we're on the topic of quarterbacks and drama, let's get to what started all the drama for Green Bay. So if Aaron Rodgers leaves next year, is the organization and are you personally confident in Jordan Love, or are you guys going to go back out and get another quarterback via draft or another veteran that's out there?
I will start with this. I talked to a draft expert. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to. This was his exact words. If Jordan Love played for Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State, he would have been a top 5 pick. That's what he said to me.
Okay.
He played at Utah State. Obviously, you guys know that Utah State as a football program it's not very good. Let's just call it what it is. It's not a very good program. They had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years. So while he was there, Jordan Love, that is, he had 3 different offensive coordinators in his time at Utah State. He's 6'6". He's got the size. The arm is really live. Like watching it in preseason, he only played in 2 preseason games. He took a hit in the third one. They knocked him out for the rest of the game, and then for precautionary reasons, they didn't play him in the 4th. Something about Matt LaFleur's system, which comes from the Kyle Shanahan system, which comes from the McVay system. They have the whole. You guys are aware of LaFleur.
Yeah,
we're too well aware that those were.
You saw guys like. I'm not disrespecting anybody at whatever they do in the NFL. They do better. They're better at their job than I am at mine. Matt Ryan, MVP season in the Shanahan LaFleur system. Jared Goff got $140 million contract in the McVay LaFleur system. So they obviously, it's a quarterback friendly system. Aaron Rodgers, everybody wants to talk about how great he is, and he is great. Prior to LaFleur, he was on a really steady decline. LaFleur obviously comes there, it changes a little bit of the system. McCarthy's system was outdated, obviously in Green Bay, everybody knows that. And you're starting to see a little bit in Dallas at times where he's at now, but it's a quarterback friendly system. So when Jordan Love does take over, And I'm not so sure he takes over next year. I do believe Aaron Rodgers is here next year. It's just a gut feeling. There's no inside knowledge. That's my gut. But if I'm wrong, and I've been wrong more times than I've been right, Jordan Love will be ready. He'll be going into his third year in this system. He doesn't have a whole lot of game experience, so that's where the concerns would be. But with LaFleur's system, there's not a whole lot of pre-snap checks. There's not a whole lot of pre-snap movement outside of the play action or the motion. But there's not a whole lot of thinking is basically what I'm in a better way I'm trying to say it. And you saw it with Jared Goff under McVay's system. He thrived in it. Now, obviously they had tons of players around him. That's obviously important. No matter where you go, you got to have other players around you. So if Green Bay is able to maintain their roster, maybe add a couple pieces, if in the event that Aaron Rodgers does leave, I'm 100% confident in Jordan Love. I don't think he's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers, but he doesn't need to be. You know, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, these guys, let's not forget Jimmy Garoppolo also went to a Super Bowl under the same system. So you're looking at three quarterbacks that they don't wow you. Matt Ryan won an MVP. Yeah, he had a good year. But Goff and Garoppolo, they don't do anything special. You know, they're pocket passing quarterbacks. They play within the system. Jordan Love has that. He has the 4.4 speed. He has, so he has good speed. He's mobile. And his arm is super, super lively. I mean, it's special. His release is super quick. So I think when the time's right, whether it be next year or 2023, he's definitely going to be ready.
Very nice. We'll take him.
Let's close this out with a question. Yeah, we would definitely take anyone who
You got me hyped for
lively
Jordan.
arm. You mean the guy can throw a ball past 25 yards?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that I talked about before too, is when Green Bay drafted him. Now Green Bay took a whole lot of flack. Everybody was making fun of the Packers and laughing at them. And you got an MVP on your roster. Why would you take him? Because eventually that MVP quarterback, you're seeing it now kind of throughout the league. Houston doesn't have a plan. Pittsburgh doesn't have a plan. A lot of these teams, New Orleans, they're like, oh crap, what do we do? Green Bay had a plan with Jordan Love. They knew he had raw talent. It was going to take a few years to develop. They're not rushing him into it. And now they're going to be able to reap the benefits because it's the same thing they did with Aaron Rodgers. And if Twitter was around, I call Twitter and Facebook the dark web. If Twitter was around when Aaron Rodgers sat for his first 3 years, he was awful. I don't know if you guys remember watching him at all. He was awful. So it takes time for these guys to develop. So I think he'll be fine.
Very nice.
Well, I want to end with the question that we ask all of our guests that don't come from the Washington fan base or in this region. What is your perspective of the franchise, the Washington football team franchise, on and off the field? What does the team look like to you from that outsider's perspective? It's been an interesting week for the team. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to your question, but I now despise Jackson Mahomes.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
I love Sean Taylor. Like I grew up, that was my era growing up as a kid. Like watching a dude at a Pro Bowl spear the punter, was great.
Right.
Like that the way that dude played football, it made me want to play football. Really it did. Like I loved Sean Taylor. Hate what happened. To see that dude dancing on the sideline, and for whatever reason, I don't know why he was in that close. I don't know. Whatever the reason was just, it made me so mad. And I'm not a Washington fan, but it really infuriated me.
He's a clown.
He's awful. Absolutely awful.
Patrick should be embarrassed.
Absolutely. And if I'm Patrick, I'm like, dude, you're not coming to, like, go away.
Yeah,
like
you're done. Yeah.
Every game he's at, something happens. Like I don't
he's
know
only there for TikTok. He's not there for the game.
Exactly. You see him I think, who was it? I think it was when they played.
It was a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Was it Baltimore where they dumped the water on the water on the fan? He's just, I don't care for him.
And how is it, sorry to get you off track on this, but how is it that in the same family, you've got a supremely talented athletic freak in Patrick, and then you've got Jackson, whose only discernible talent is to be able to do, these little
There you go, Stoner. There you go.
TikTok videos.
I see it.
We're getting
You've
Stoner
been
at TikTok.
practicing.
I have been practicing a little bit.
He just made me so mad because first off, I felt bad for the fans and Sean Taylor's family because from what I gathered, it was one of those they kind of just planned it really quickly, and it wasn't really planned out in months in advance. As far as the team, as far as the franchise, when I look at it, I don't think it's like one of those franchises where you laugh at. I laugh at Detroit. I laugh at Chicago, primarily because I hate them, but also because they haven't won anything in years. Washington has been in certain places as far as the playoffs. RG3 was there with them not too long ago. I like Washington because I hate the Cowboys, so it makes me root for Washington more times than not. But it's right now is kind of one of those weird times with this franchise because of the name situation. I personally like Washington football team. I don't know what your guys' feelings are on it. I have a few names that I think it'd be cool if they went and did, but I respect it. There's a big history with that team. There's a lot of pride. Obviously, history speaks for itself. A lot of great players have come through that organization. And you're just like every year, like it just feels like you're a quarterback away, which is, I know, is a lot of teams. But it's just, it feels really close. I used to love Clinton Portis back in the day on Washington. I mean, Scary Terry right now is fun to watch. I respect him. I don't think anything of less of him. I don't think whatever. I think Daniel Snyder's it's probably time. I think you guys would probably agree. It's probably time to go and do your own thing away from the franchise and all the investigation and all the emails and obviously the name change. And I think once that all this stuff kind of clears up, you guys will be looking pretty good.
All right, sounds good. Well, Brandon, we want to thank you for joining us. This is Brandon from Titled. We got one more.
I'm sorry. Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
Give me a score prediction for Sunday. Give me a score prediction.
All right, that's good.
Put me on the spot. I'm gonna go. I'm going to go Green Bay 31, Washington 23.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's respectable.
An offensive explosion for Washington.
Yeah, but like I said, Green Bay's defense, they have their moments. Obviously, they're not healthy at all. Offensive line, they're not healthy on the offensive line either. They're missing their speed wide receiver, their number 2 wide receiver. So they're hurt all over the field. So they're not fully healthy. And I think Washington will be able to, like I said, be able to move the ball. And if they get in the red zone, they're going to score.
Well, let's hope that Washington can move the ball. So we'll appreciate that if they can do that. But we more so appreciate, Brandon, you joining us here for Ref the Districts, episode 39. And appreciate it. Check out him on his own podcast, Titled Town Lounge. And where can they find you? Where can they find that podcast?
Yeah, you can find us on wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a Packers fan or you just want to hear me complain about what they're doing, you can find us on Twitter or Facebook at Titled Town Lounge. You can find me on Twitter. I didn't update my name on here, but it's at Brandon_Schneid. And we have live shows every Wednesday. We're actually going on about an hour. So we get to go break down the Packers in Washington. We'll talk about the Bears, obviously, the Bears game as well. And then we're gonna dive into all things Washington football team.
Very nice.
Sounds good. We'll have to check that out in a little bit. It's Titled Town Lounge with Brandon Schneid. Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks,
you, Brandon. See you, buddy.
Man.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. And when we come back for the cool down, because it's no longer the post game, when we come back for the cool down, we'll do a little dollar real quick. And I have one thing that I need to show everyone that just has me perplexed. All right, welcome back.
That's what you call peas right there.
Yeah, like you did on Monday.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share this now. All right, we're gonna get this tease right out of the way. I just could not fathom this right here. Okay.
What about it? What's wrong with that? You tell me what's wrong with that.
I know you're upset about that, but
for those who are audio listeners, I'm sharing the screen right now of Washington football teams. Thank you, Dustin. And it's a picture of Dustin Hopkins and their
Twitter account.
From their Twitter account. They literally cut this guy in the middle of the season, in the middle of the week. This isn't like he retired or he's leaving the game or injured
or he got
anything.
traded.
or
Right.
traded. This is a guy that you released
Mhm.
because he's not doing it.
Good.
He's not kicking it. He's not handling his job. And you're
Mhm.
going to give him a thank you note. I think that just is very, very peculiar to me. I just don't understand it, guys.
He was there for 6+ years.
Yeah.
I don't get
That's
it.
what
I
you
just
want him to
You know
do.
what?
get it.
You know
What
what?
do you want them to do?
This is kind of
Roster update. We've released Dustin Hopkins. That's
He's
all
been
they
there
needed
for
to do.
he's been there for 6+ years. That's why they did that, because he's been through how many different coaches, how many different teammates. That's the only reason why.
No,
I
Come
thought
on, they gotta be
it
nice.
was extremely classy.
I did too.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying
And he
it's
was a
not
fan
a classy
favorite,
thing to do.
clearly.
I'm just
He was
saying that it's a
funny.
very interesting thing to do. I just
But-
I've never seen a team cut somebody in the middle of the season, in the middle of the week, and be like, "Hey, thanks for everything." Like,
Why
what do
not?
you mean?
I don't know. I think I've seen it, but
Why would you not do that?
see, here's the thing
Roster
about that.
update.
Here's the thing about that though,
Kicker
They
Dustin
did that too.
Hopkins.
They did that too, but they said thank you. Go ahead.
That's all
is
they
that
needed.
they did something good, they did something classy, they did something positive, and you want to kill them for it.
For
I'm
a
not
thank
killing
you
them
note?
for it.
We've
For
been
a
killing
thank
them
you
for all the
note?
I'm
negativity.
perplexed. I'm saying that I'm just
Have a
confused.
heart,
I've
bro.
never seen it.
I'm
I
the
don't have a
one.
heart.
I'm
I
the
don't have a
one that's
heart.
jumping up and down and hitting my head this morning because we released him. I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
And
I
we
didn't
said
either.
thank you. He was here. Now, if he was here for like a year or two, then you save it for later after like thank you. But he was
Yeah.
here for 6+ years.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a funny guy. He was Tress's right hand man,
I
like
know somebody else.
now
I
trust
don't have it in front of me. I wish I still had it in front of me. Someone tweeted out a GIF
the Will
of
Smith.
Millhouse
Oh,
just
yeah.
tossing the frisbee to himself.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, 'cause
I
n-
saw the
'cause now
Will
that-
Smith one in the house by himself.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Nick Sundberg's gone now. Now Dustin Hopkins gone. So you just got Tress Way out there by
Yeah.
himself. Just like
Come on,
Yeah.
Nathan. They said thank you. Don't let,
Yeah.
don't let it
Alright.
perplex
I
I'm
you.
not
I-
saying it's a bad thing to do. I'm just saying I've never seen it before. I'm a little confused. That's all.
Okay,
You know
well,
my
let
take
us-
on it. You guys, we posted it earlier. All right, we dropped the kicker. We picked up a kicker. This is like fantasy football. Okay, kickers
Oh.
mostly are interchangeable.
Right,
Yeah,
which is
I
which is
agree, I
why
agree.
I'm
All right.
really wondering why it took this long to make the move. But hey, I like what Ron said. He made the move. His choice. He'll live with it.
You said
Let's
you're
go.
confused. Let us unconfuse you
Yeah, let's
and say this was a
unperplex
good
you.
thing.
This was
You
a
were-
good thing. Okay,
Yes.
it was a classy thing.
It was a
Yes,
classy.
there we go,
classy
'cause
thing
especially
after
after the-
having so much unclassy.
Yes.
I really didn't want to have to tell Brandon during the show that
What?
he was Jackson Mahomes was there because Washington football team put him there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
already
couldn't tell
know
him
I was
that.
just,
Yeah,
I was
no,
just,
no,
I was
no.
just like, no,
We
we don't,
found
we
out
don't, we
on
don't
that.
have another 25 minutes for him to rail on the
Right.
Washington football team for that decision. So let's get to Dollar real
All
quick,
right.
like, because we're already over our hour, and I know people want to get to that Wizards game. DC United
Yeah,
is
don't-
playing as
Don't
well.
say anything, by the way. If you've got updates, I'm recording it, right?
All right,
Don't say
okay, I'm
anything.
going to
Okay.
update you right now because I
Mr.
have the score
DVR.
right in front of me. I don't have
Look
it
at his
right in front of
face.
me, but-
Look at his face. Look at his face. He's
Don't
being
have
for
it in
real.
front of me.
Look. Look at his
I'll
face.
drop. I'll drop. Like, with the
My
quickness.
man threatened to drop out the show tonight. Don't want to mess
I'll
up
drop.
his team.
No, I'll drop both of y'all out. I'll finish dollar myself.
Just do dollar himself.
Yeah, and I bet I'll win
I'll
every
be in
one
the
too.
I'll be in the chat and I'll be pumping out the answer too.
All right, let's do it.
All right, who's got
All right.
one? Who's going first? I think we
I'm
should.
going
I think we
first.
should have somebody go first, do two of them, and then the
Uh-huh.
next one two, and then the next one two.
All right.
So,
So
Trev,
you
you
go
go
first.
first. Oh, I thought you said you
All
were
right,
going first.
All right, I'll go first.
All right.
Our new kicker, Chris Blewett,
Damn it, I was going to do that.
is making everything he kicks. He's making
Okay.
all kicks, extra points,
Doesn't
field
miss.
goals. Doesn't
Hasn't
miss.
kicked anything since 2016, but he's making
But he-
everything
Yep.
on Sunday.
I will
Yep.
take that bet because he's
Everything on
missing
Sunday.
something.
Nah, he's not, dog. Nah. And then my
Trev.
second one.
I'm with Trev on that one.
Wait.
I'm
There
gonna
we
I'm gonna
go.
say I'm
There
gonna
we
say he
go,
makes it
Nathan.
all.
Thank
Okay.
you. My man was kicking in the wind today, Ron Rivera said. 70 yards deep. So we good. All right, here we go.
All right, man.
And my second one,
All right. He doesn't
Taylor
even have
Heineke.
one. Oh,
Ta-
go ahead.
Taylor Heineke throws 3 interceptions on Sunday.
Oh, I'm taking that bet. I don't think
I'm
he throws
taking it as
3.
well.
I hate to say it.
Heineke,
He's throwing
One.
three.
3 plus.
One, I don't think they
5
allow him
NP.
to get that far if he's. If
What
he
you mean
throws,
they allow him?
Stoner.
if he throws 2 and he's looking that bad, then they probably pull him.
He threw 2 the other game. They didn't pull him.
No, but
All
I'm
right,
saying
Nathan, you're up.
He's probably in that position. Okay,
Nah, dog.
No, he only
Unlike
threw
this-
1.
the other day I didn't say that he threw.
He threw 1 on
No,
Sunday.
He
Trev
only
said
threw
he
one
threw
against the
2.
Chiefs. He
Yeah.
threw one against the Chiefs, and
He
then
threw 2 the week before, right?
2 the week before. That's why I said the other day. Other day could mean any day other
Yeah,
than
no,
today.
I was
I'm
correcting Trev. Trev
perplexed.
Perplexed. All right,
Okay.
It's a debacle.
Washington
Colorado.
football team running backs
Oh, as a whole. Well,
as a whole
it's only going to be 2 because Gibson might not play. But go ahead.
will total
Mm-hmm.
25 rushes.
Oh, that's good, bro. Because they only had 18 last game.
Oh, they had 19, I believe.
Oh, Jared Patterson had 1, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Just the running backs. We're not talking Heineke
No jet
scrambles
sweeps
here.
or anything like that. Those don't count.
The
So it's just running backs only.
Washington football team running backs will have.
That
25
counts. Jet sweep
rushes.
counts if it's a running back.
If it's a running back, which
Yeah,
is not a
but
running
running
back.
back,
A jet
that
sweep
doesn't
is a
happen.
wide receiver.
J.D. McKissick could line up in a slot and take the sweep.
That's
Stop playing,
okay.
y'all.
That's fair. That's
Stop
fair.
playing.
He's got
Come
a
on
point
now.
there.
Let's
Got a
go watch
point there.
football. Come on, man.
All right. I'm taking it.
You taking it?
Yeah.
25 rushing attempts.
Yes. It's a risky one because they got away
It
from
is.
the
That's a
run.
good one. I
They got
know.
away from
And
the
now,
run.
if we don't have Gibson, how much running are we really going to do?
Stoner took it.
I took it.
I'll take it. Damn, I'll
Oh,
take it.
Damn it.
I'll live. No,
I was
I'm
hoping
with
you'd-
you. I'll
Yeah,
with
there
you.
you
Does that
go.
make you better? Does that make you feel
Yeah.
better, Stoner?
Yeah, because you're like
I
a
wanna
mush.
perplex ya.
Every bet goes
I love
against
that
you.
word.
So,
Oh, okay, cool.
all right, Nathan.
My
Second one.
second one will be
It's gonna be good.
that the defense records 3 sacks.
Woo! I like that one. I'm taking it. It ain't gonna happen. We ain't getting 3.
All right.
Yeah. I like
We
that
are.
bet, Nathan, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
They're getting 3, so I'm going with Nathan on that.
Nah.
They're getting at least 3. All right, you ready?
Aaron's
All right,
gonna
let's
have
hear
the
it.
ball out too fast.
Rodgers. Oops, I messed it up. Aaron Rodgers will have at least one 45 yards or more touchdown pass.
Ooh.
Touchdown pass.
Touchdown pass.
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you.
I'm gonna take that bet. I don't think
All
it.
right.
I think that he'll have a bomb. I don't know that it's going to necessarily end in a touchdown though.
Ooh, I like that,
45
Nathan.
plus TD.
Okay.
Nathan. All right. And Trev,
All
you're
right.
with me on that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Bombs away.
All right. You ready?
I'm getting really
Yeah.
risky because I have all that money. So
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta-
right.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
a little risky
whatever.
now.
Mhm.
Stoner says at least one Packer player will go off on a stretcher.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not even.
Are you
touching it.
kidding me right now? What is wrong with you?
It's
What is
it's called
wrong
a
with
prop
Nathan?
bet.
Nathan, what's wrong with him?
I'm not even touching it, man. I'm not even.
What's
I'm not
wrong
even going
with
to
him?
acknowledge. I'm not even
What
going
is
to
wrong
acknowledge
with
it.
him?
I don't even know what the heck he was thinking. Like,
What
why
is
would you
wrong
even say
with
that?
him?
I don't even know. He's, by the way, for those audio listeners, I've removed him from the stream. You don't say things like that. You don't
All right,
make
let's bring him back. Let's bring him back.
prop bets like that. That's
Look,
that's
my
not
man
cool.
over here
We got
crying. What are you
we got
doing?
we got
dog?
the quivering bottom lip.
My man
All
is
right.
wishing
All
stretcher
right, I
life
take that
for
back.
people.
I wasn't wishing. I was just gambling upon it. That's all. All right.
It's not cool, man. Not
Oh
cool.
my
All right. All right. You ready?
Oh, no,
Devontae
shit.
Adams. Devontae Adams goes off on a stretch. No, I'm just kidding. Devontae Adams
You better
has
hope that
12
does not happen.
at least 12 targets.
Oh, I'll take that. He's not gonna have 12.
I'm abstaining. I'm not on that one.
Okay. All right. Let's get to scores. Score
All these
predictions.
big ass words.
Store.
I might not be able to
Abstain.
pronounce names, but I can use some
You
big
can
words.
pronounce
every now
big
and
ass words.
That's the only bet that
What?
it only has 2 people instead of all 3 of us.
Which
Every
one?
other bet has all 3 of us
then.
involved.
I
in
sit
some
away.
way.
Hey, I gotta still somewhat
I
stay
cannot
ahead.
be-
All right.
Packers fans, I just want to apologize on behalf of Ref the District for gambling one of your players to leave the
Hey,
game on a
Yeah, I'm not for
stretcher.
that
I
life
am
either.
so sorry.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
so sorry.
Deeply apologize for
Stoner, you're
For-
grounded, bro.
the
We're
appearance.
apologizing for gambling on injuries. All right, score predictions. You want me to go first?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Mr.
All right. Green Bay, 34.
Okay.
Washington football team,
Yep.
18.
Oh, I said 16. That was close.
Trev?
For real?
Yeah.
That's what we
Washington,
went with.
Green Bay 42.
Good Lord.
Washington 38.
Ooh, high scoring game.
I don't know.
All
It's
right,
probably not even
Nathan?
close, but
41-27
Washington.
Green Bay Packers.
I actually picked Green Bay to win this game.
Yeah,
Can
the
you
good
believe
thing
that?
is usually when all 3 of us pick the same thing, it goes
Yeah.
opposite. So
Yes. Yeah. Green Bay wins by a million.
Maybe it'll work out for us. You never know. One could certainly hope, though. One can certainly hope. All right, we got
are we not
fingers
even gonna-
raised.
Are we not even going
What?
to address the Tua rumors? We're not even going
We
to talk
should,
about that.
but I
Okay,
mean,
here
we're
we
at
go.
1
Tua-
hour and 10 minutes. So I
All right,
mean,
we're almost done.
We
Tua's
absolutely
not
should.
coming here. They Nikki G. I can't never pronounce her
J,
name.
I
I'm so
think it
sorry.
is,
Nikki
actually.
J.
Nikki
Yeah,
J.
I can never pronounce her last name.
I can't
And
either.
Sam
So.
Fortier both reported that with knowledge of sources close to the situation, Washington is not involved in talks with Tua, and they
Yeah.
shouldn't be. I'm sorry, bruh. Why we want to bring him here? He broke his hip, he broke his ankle, he broke his ribs. He's tall as Taylor Heineke. His accuracy is bad.
Mhm.
Why do we want to even consider that an option for us, bro? We're trying to do better, not stay decidedly
Old man
mediocre.
glasses are
Old
out.
man
Oh
glasses.
no! What
No,
you
no,
got?
old
What you
man
got?
glasses are out.
I'm supporting your argument.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
going to
bring
give you a
Tua here.
list of first round quarterbacks since
Yeah.
2012
Okay.
who have played for more than one team.
I
First
can't- all
round
right, let's do it.
quarterbacks who have
All right.
played for more than one team.
Mhm,
RG3, Tannehill,
mhm.
Brandon Whedon, EJ Manuel, Blake
Brandon
Bortles,
Weeden.
Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Mitchell Trubisky, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, and Dwayne Haskins.
Yep.
Although Dwayne hasn't actually played in a game. And that does not include a couple other first rounders by the name of Paxton Lynch and Johnny Manziel, who never played for a second team. But these are all basically all busts except for Tannehill,
Mhm.
who has played very well. If you're a first round quarterback and you bust out in your first place, you're not going to all of a sudden become a better quarterback.
Isn't
I
Wentz
think I
having
forgot
a decent season out in Indianapolis?
Who wins?
Wentz?
Wentz. I mean, he's having a decent season.
He's having a
but I mean,
decent
it's
season.
It's
Yeah,
still too early. It's way
Yeah,
too
it is.
early.
Yeah.
Just like with Jared Goff, it's too early in Detroit. Just like Jameis Winston.
I don't know if that one's too early. Winston
too early.
might be, but he also that
don't
one
want to.
that one happened pretty late in his career. We're talking about a guy who's drafted 3rd overall just a couple of years ago.
And had a
Has-
quarterback
is that
battle
Tua?
with Ryan
Tua.
Fitzpatrick. Let's be honest.
Tua
who's-
was third, yeah.
Yeah, who has been injured
Every
no, this is not
Thank
the
you.
success story.
No.
I'm glad that we're all on the same page.
Yes,
I'm
do
glad
not
that this
bring
conversation could be this short.
if
He
you're gonna
doesn't
bring
need to come
some,
here.
yeah, don't put all your marbles in for Tua. Go get somebody
No.
next year in the draft or a veteran. Don't bring Tua here.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely
don't.
insane how many people are like, give us second or just
Yeah.
try it. No,
No, bruh.
anything
Nah, dog.
anything higher than a 4th would absolutely be
Yeah,
just
if you give him
horrendous.
Kyle Allen trade value, if you give up a 5th rounder, for sure. You
Shout out to
give
the
that a shot.
authentic in the beard.
Yeah. So, okay, I
Yeah,
just
we're
want to
on
make sure
that.
we address that before we clocked out.
All right,
That's
fair
a big
enough.
deal.
Glad. We're glad none of us are on the Tua train. We
Nope.
shouldn't
Nah.
be. Glad we can put that to rest. Hopefully, there's nothing else exciting that's happened because last week, after we shut down the show, then all of a sudden the Sean Taylor mess unfolded. And if
Best
that
believe if
happens
something
again,
pop off, we'll be back.
if something happens, we're gonna have another
We will be
podcast.
back.
So we'll put out
We'll be
another
back.
podcast if that happens. But let me see. Are any raised hands?
Nope.
Nope. No one's gonna raise hands.
Nope.
I don't
Trevor,
think
would
so.
you like to give our sponsorship this time?
Our Ref the District podcast is sponsored by Pacers Running. I don't have the promo
The
read
read.
for that. Yeah,
Right, I don't
know.
either.
All right. We're gonna
I know.
trade. Just talk about how great,
But
and
the great
ecstatic you
running,
were
yeah.
for the virtual fitting that you're going to schedule and take part in, because we
Yeah.
know that's something that you're going to do as soon
Uh-huh.
as this podcast is over. Because
Yep.
honestly, they do have some amazing opportunities for
They
you to get a
do.
virtual fitting. You get to talk with an expert. It's a really great thing. And then they walk you through and they buy the shoe that's right for you. Okay. You don't
Let's
have to
go.
buy it right then and there. They just list it out. And so you can buy it when you're ready, but at least you'll know what shoe is exactly the shoe that you need to get yourself up and moving. Pacers Running for every run. Sponsoring Ref the District. This is episode 39. Pack it in. We're live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And then we put this out on our audio platforms, wherever you can listen to your audio devices. We appreciate anyone who listens to our content. Just make sure that you like, subscribe, and share our content. And speaking of which, don't forget Countdown Trivia. So if you missed the beginning of the show, get back to our Countdown Trivia and answer that question, which was, when Dan Snyder led a group that purchased the Washington Redskins in 1999, how much did they pay?
$1.
Answer that question, put that in the comment section, or you can tweet out our video or put it out on Facebook. Just make sure you tag Ref the District, use the hashtag Countdown Trivia. You put yourself in the running for some Ref the District swag. You won't get a Washington football hoodie, but you could potentially get yourself a Ref the District hoodie, which is really comfy.
Warm and fuzzy.
We got a couple of those. Really, really nice.
And
But,
at least it has a name attached to it.
Hoodie season.
It is hoodie season indeed. Hey, next time we'll be back for the day after reckoning to talk about whether or not Washington packed it in. And then we got a special after the whistle coming out next week as well. More on that. You'll
Look for
catch
those
us on our
promos,
Twitter
too.
channel at Ref the District. But until next time,
What's
be a
that?
fan.
Be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are Ref the District. Podcast. Come on out.